Alright, we are here with Bria, Riptide Rogue, 4-mana 3/3, Otter, Rogue, Prowess. Other creatures you control have Prowess, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, so anything that would trigger Prowess, something you control can't be blocked. So you essentially, once you get going with a few creatures, it's hard for your opponent to block, but you're blue-red, so it's sort of hard to block the typical blue-red Prowess thing anyways, but now all your other things have Prowess. If you amass a large board of creatures, and a couple of them can't be blocked anyways, you can do a decent job at casting maybe just one or two spells, and then having just a few creatures that need the ability here, as opposed to every single creature you play not being able to attack. So that's why the deck looks like this. If someone plays Chalice on one, the game is over. This is probably the cheapest, lowest curve deck I have ever played. I don't know if this is the right way to go. I think the other way to go would be Mana Rocks, because this is a 4-drop. However, Mana Rocks are very weird in a blue-red, prowess deck when I'm trying to play creatures every turn to actually kill my opponent. Taking a turn off, namely the second turn, not doing anything that advances my board state that threatens my opponent's life total does not make sense to me. Maybe if this was the Brawl, that's the 4-mana planeswalker that makes otters, which I haven't played yet, but that is not what this is. So this is what I think it's going to look like. I'm making an exception for these cards because these cards are insanely strong, even Essence Capture. I think it's easy enough to get double blue to run this, and we have more than enough creatures. Maybe even want more creatures, but a 35 is... I think there's actually more creatures than there are lands. Yeah, there's 31 lands in here because, well, I really don't need many at all. I do need 4 to cast this, which is a little... That's kind of the only downside, but this looks unique enough to at least start. If I start losing all day to 1 and 2 drops, which is a thing that happens when it comes to mana dorks a lot, then I'll have to run more red spells that cost 2, like a Braid and, stuff like that. Is it Charm? Hopefully it doesn't come to that, but the idea of casting a bunch of cards really quickly that are creatures, hopefully, and actually beating my opponent to death seems interesting, and then the rest of the deck is just spells to trigger Prowess. Even just cards that draw cards, so I can just have Prowess triggers. I kind of wish this came with, like, 1 token, or, like, made its own tokens, it's weird a card like this exists, but is just categorically worse than something like Monastery Mentor, or whatever, the white creature. It's kind of unfortunate. This costs more mana than that, and the ability requires you to have other creatures. Monastery Mentor is just categorically better. But it's not a legendary, so that's what it looks like. I'm sure it'll change as we go, but play a bunch of 1-drops, make them all scary and unblockable really quickly, and then kill our opponent. Like, comment, subscribe. I might actually lead with the Fairy, even though it doesn't have haste, because scrying too early is good. Don't think I want either of these. The Ascendant's actually decent, but no, we don't really have the time to invest in it till like later, and I just a lot of redundancy in my deck, so. I mean, is it a... Okay, apparently it was not a... Huh, okay. I shall play the Hasting Flyer. I think I can envision this aerial combat here being a problem for a while, even though it's not that much pressure. Because I just can't block it. Although this is kind of annoying. It doesn't have lifelink, though. This is an exact spot where I would want to surveil land. Okay, well, that's one of the worst cards in the universe to see. No surprise there. I think I'm not casting DRC, because I would rather leave up Miscast and not lose to some stupid spell on turn 3. Although, that might not be... It might just be better to get DRC into play, actually. It might just be a thing I have to do. Because again, that's what our deck is doing. Like, in what world do I survive some really good answer anyways, right? It's not like they're going to play Bantu's Reckoning. Although I would lose. I think that 1 mana black spell might be a discard spell, and they just didn't cast it. Nope. What is this? Sure. The lifelink is a problem. I need a land, but I guess if I don't have one... I wonder if I need to hold this on turn 4, just to... Or if I get a land, just so I don't, like... Okay, it looks like I didn't have a choice. We drew one of the uncastable ones, too. At least, well, for now, it's uncastable. There's no combat trick with prowess, so the ground attack is weird with the Soulscar Mage. Alright. Kind of sketchy, but this is what I signed up for. I almost want more counter spells. I might want to run more. Built this but focused on prowess creatures and planeswalkers. Yeah, that sounds more like the other kind of otter. The Rousarek otter. Not this one. Okay, Sorin... Actually, Sorin flipping is... It lets me kill it. Maybe they don't want to do that. I didn't think of that. I might just miscast literally anything just to DRC. So that's not what we were looking for. It also sets up something to exile for this card, if that matters. I think they wanted to swing because that way they actually gain 1 life in the trade. This way they do not gain 1 life in the trade. Yeah, this was actually... They should have actually attacked there. They would have gained an extra life. Because... Although maybe that's not totally true because they gain 2 life this way because now I have to kill it. Alright, so never mind. I guess that makes sense. I guess that makes sense. Let's go here... Here. Play this, and then surely not die to some sweeper or something. It is a black-white creature deck, so... Even if I draw a land, I'm not doing anything after I draw said land. So, kind of sketchy. Shove aside, I can kill their commander. I think I'd prefer to kill the Cruel Celebrant. Okay. This is a sorcery? I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot. This is a sorcery. I think I'm just not doing anything. They can use this to reanimate something at some point. I don't know what they will, but something. Okay, they're neglecting to block. Wow. What is this card? I don't know. I think it's right to push damage. Let's see. What else? When does this matter if I don't cast it now? I don't know. So. Okay, kind of wish I didn't give them the ability to do all that, but that's fine. Never drew that 4th land. Not that I had a spell to go with it anyways, but... If they get back Sorin, I couldn't shove aside it, so it just doesn't... Like, yeah, see, it's not gonna... They put a counter on Sorin, but it must flip. It must flip. That was a mistake. they just target me for 5? Probably a good idea to not let that be a reality. I think it's the right thing to not let that be a thing. They have the mana to kill my... of course, I draw the land when I really... That's incredibly annoying. But I guess maybe I have to? And it's not like my opponent loses their... it's like they have to sacrifice something. It's not free. They have to get rid of the cleric class, right? I do get something out of this. Come on, dude. 30 lands. Come on. Anything. Literally anything would have been good. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, I have to play it too. I can't even leave anything up. I needed anything that wasn't a whatchamacallit there. I literally needed anything. Ugh, that's so ugly. And of course now I draw a creature when they play this, and now I literally can't play creatures. Yep. Well, you know, why not? 2-turn clock, block, chump, chump. If they have a removal spell, that last spell here, I think they've been holding on to it the whole game, and I think it costs 1 mana. It could be like Shard Bone thing, the sack a creature removal spell. I really think it is. Am I in a position to leave myself dead? Let's see, swing. They go to 2, block. It's only 3. Okay, we leave 2 back. We leave 2 back because, well, yeah, well, it's too late now, but... There is no way I cast this. It just doesn't make sense. No way I cast that, so... They go to 2, they go up to 6. They find... anything they want? Not sure how much it mattered, but... Don't think that mattered. So Shock would have won the game. This lets them gain life. Yep, look at that. If I... yeah, this is actually super, super close. It was super close. If I drew the Shock sooner, I would have been fine. Wow. That was really close, even with my commander not mattering. Alright, I took out some cantrips, added chart a course. I assume this will always be enabled, or raid, whatever the raid mechanic. This would probably read raid if that was out at the time. And the curiosity effects. I think these are better, and I just wasn't thinking about them, but this is absolutely this kind of deck, so let's run all the curiosities. Okay, after more losing, I added some more efficient 2-mana creatures that make sense to me. So let's try that, and EI. Took out some of those popper 1-drops. Might actually add some more lands too. Just gotta find out what to take out for them. Network Disrupt. Like these 1-mana 1/1 flyers might not be the... Alright, yeah, let's do that. Okay. After even more losing, we took out more poop and added some things that have flash, so I can, like, not die to board wipes and just have more things to do. Let's do that. Oh, I would love a second creature. I mean, with Sleight of Hand, it's not impossible to hit a second creature. What are we up against? The weird thing with stuff? Sure. Alright, I guess I'm using this. Good luck. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I'm going to need all the luck I can get, apparently. Alright, super likely this gets an island, but I must play my thingy booper turn 1. Yep. I found a creature, too. So I can go this thingy, this into Curiosity. That is that thing, sure. Wait. I drew Ragavan, but I really, really don't want to dash it. So, kind of unfortunate. I might actually just not cast Curiosity and just cast these two. The problem is I have no answer. No, I need an island. No matter what I do, it's a blue source. Can they play this next turn? Black, white. No, white, black, red. Yeah, they can. This is an artifact. Well, that is... Well, that's usually how 4-mana commanders work, though. They just do that. I did hit the wash away. That's actually unbelievable. I did find it. That's what I was kind of hinging on. Otherwise, I immediately lose the game, so... No land, so I probably have to Ragavan. Although I can... Curiosity. I don't know. I think drawing a card is slightly better. I feel like it is. And I'm not going to leave up Shock, so we'll just cast this for more damage. And, alright, Ragavan is a threat. I'm going to cast Ragavan, because if they don't kill that, then they kill this, and, like, I gave them a second thing to kill, instead of just protecting the one thing that they could kill. I think this is fine. Yeah, we got him. We got to this point. It just has to... Oh, that was a good draw. Okay. Alright. Oh, boy. Come on. They cannot do anything about this because they can't use the artifact to spend mana here. So that's good. Step 1 complete. I'm not going to bounce this. Just not going to do that. I could, but I'm just not going to. There's no reason to cast Stoneforge Mystic. You know what? I will bounce it. No, I really want my opponent to spend this turn thinking that they can just simply cast their commander. So, I'm just going to leave it like this. Swamp Cycle, yup. Because if they do cast their commander and it resolves, they're actually in a really fine spot. So, they have a lot of incentive to cast it. I do have a lot of open mana, though. But, I don't know, maybe I could have just cast the front side of this? Or, I don't know. Is the creature the front or back? Is the adventure? What do we call that? What side is the front side of an adventure? Probably the adventure's yeah, I think the adventure's the front side. I'd say that. Alright, opponent did not cast their commander. Unfortunate. I don't really blame them, though. There's not really a reason for me to crack this. It can only get a mountain. Like, there's no reason to... I'm not really incentivized to cast it, or crack it. There. Okay, well, doing the same thing we did last time. 2 creatures you don't want to get hit by, coming at you. Opponent made the conscious decision not to cast their commander, though, so... Yeah, the Avengers is the front. That makes sense. It makes sense. Alright, so they didn't play their commander, and they didn't have a removal spell. So, I'm not sure what's going on. Really didn't want me to cast my commander, I guess? Let's see, if I just cast this, it deals some damage to them. I would not miss this in the face of a counter spell. So I'll send it and see what happens. I probably wouldn't fight over this. Probably. Sure. I think if that was all they were going to do, they needed to do that on their own turn to draw something relevant. There was no way you just hold that for no reason. You just had to cast it on your own turn. Baleful Strix. Wow, I haven't seen Baleful Strix. I don't think I've ever seen Baleful Strix. Whoa. That's crazy. On paper, you think those cards look like they do in the game? Yeah. They do. Okay, what does this do? Okay, so they can steal something. Which probably has to be the thing drawing cards. Correct. Correct. They actually exiled this. If I get it back, I have the free pings off of it. That's funny. I can cast my commander next turn and shock them, and they might be dead. This might be... It's going to take an hour. It would have taken an hour, but I think our commander might come in play and kill our opponent. Oh, they're tapped out. Send this card. Yep, I think we got there. I can even draw a card here because of the treasures. I don't really need the mana. Okay, my opponent just did that for some reason. That's interesting. Nice. My opponent also doesn't know they're dead until I get to swing too, which is nice. All right. Huh. Doesn't matter what I... Look at that. It literally took an hour to get the first trigger. It took an hour for it to get the first trigger. And did it even matter? Did it matter? Let's see if I shocked that. Okay, it did matter. My opponent would have seen another turn. So it actually mattered. I cast it, got the trigger, it mattered. It just took an hour. Nice. It took an hour. It took a Curiosity hitting my opponent 3 times and a Ragavan. Speaking of fixing things, I actually kind of like this hand. Though any source of like Curiosity or like any cantrip would have been nice, but I think this is fine. I'm on a draw, right? So this is decent. Probably just going to kill this. Let's play... Actually, you know what? I can Witness Protection it. I don't have to do that right now, though. I could wait. And I think I will wait. Let's just play this. Because they have to spend mana on the actual, like, ability, and I'd like my opponent to do that. So... Okay, my opponent did not allow themselves the ability to do it. This does not say spells and abilities. This does not give protection, so it won't save it. Probably still have to kill this, because this card, well, it is what it is. And I'll play this. Lavamancer is interesting, though. It is interesting. Might actually do something. I could have just played it right then and there. Okay. So now incentivize my opponent to do it because I played Lavamancer. So now they really want to flip Frodo, and I can Witness Protection it then. Okay, never mind. They can't swing with Frodo. So play this. I have 5 mana because of the gold, the treasure token here, so I can trigger Prowess, but I don't know what that's even doing. I think I'm slightly more interested, because my opponent gave me the ability to do this, to simply kill Frodo. Although I can just not do that right now. I can literally just not do it and play this. I can do it whenever I want. It doesn't have to be right now. This is an instant? Okay, so I couldn't do it anyways. My opponent could, in response, deny me the ability to do it. Alright, fair enough. Okay, I'm at the mercy of... well, kind of everything, really. Okay, they just full stop didn't attempt to level up Frodo. I think I'm gonna leave the Gold Hound around, right? Yeah, we're leaving the Gold Hound around, and I can crack the Lavamancer on my turn. Yeah. It's kind of weird, but I think it's necessary. I think they would have cast whatever they had if they... That was weird. I can make that Nazgul a 3/3, which is not that exciting. It's not that exciting at all to do that, right? It can't block anyways, and I don't know if a second row of prowess triggers is getting me anywhere. But maybe I just do it for the sake of it. Just to get the damage now. But it's not that exciting. I can't be convinced it's right. Okay, we did it anyways. We got there. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever casting the Witness Protection. I don't know. I'm going to play the Disruption here. I can't not just cast this, so... Just get rid of Miscast, probably, given that it's mono black. Probably just Swan Song. So plot this, and then pass, and then play my commander. That, I don't know. My commander's not doing anything if I do cast it, so I don't know. I haven't played against Necro Dominance too much. That's interesting. Alright, so play my commander, or do I play nothing and die? Can also do that. I think I'm actually going to play my commander. And there's no reason to not cast this. I'm just going to send it. 1 damage is 1 damage. This probably just kills my commander, yeah, so it was right to just play the slick shot. So bounce their commander. I mean, there's no good bounce target. It would just trigger this. That's kind of like meh. Yeah, that's kind of meh, but I mean, I guess kind of meh. And play these two. Sure, get some damage in. Could have played this as well. I did cast a thing, but this is probably fine as well. I can make them block. And then, like, make it lose ability, lose all text and whatnot. They only drew a single card. That is actually kind of weird. They only drew a single card off that. That's notable. So this swing here. And then just sit behind that for no reason. It's not like it's doing anything. Can they reanimate something? They can reanimate something. So maybe I just send this here. Sacrifices a creature and all that jazz. So what's the worst creature here? The Lava Runner, probably? Yeah, probably the Lava Runner, I think. Because the Scalding Viper attacks the life total, and I kind of need to do that, because Necrodominance is a card. Another land. Wow. Fascinating. So this Firebrand paying swing for 3. Pushing damage is just extremely ideal. Oh man, I really want to play this. Oh, nightmare. Nope. I can't. I cannot play this. I gotta do this. I didn't even really have a relevant, or super relevant, prowess trigger casting it anyways, so. Well, they're never gonna tap that to draw, that's for sure. Yep, they go to 9. The more they have to draw, the better for us, right? Because if you get stuck under Necro Dominance and you can't get rid of it, then the game's over. My opponent has to end the game with the remaining cards their life total allocates, because they can't stop their own Necro Dominance. Okay. Unless they find a way to gain life. So it's probably... I think I just have to deal with Liliana the Veil, right? I think I just have to do that. So I'm just gonna do that. Feels kind of bad, but again, if I can exhaust all of their resources and they can't draw anymore, I think we can get out of this. I think. Okay, what does this flip into now that I can't stop it from flipping? Make zombies, exile creatures, make zombies. Alright. Lavamancer is funny. Lavamancer is funny. Is it better than my commander, though? I don't actually think so. If I play this, it forces my opponent to think about their attacks. So I think this is fine. Please don't be a relevant card. Please give me that. Okay, I guess it's actually insanely relevant because they draw and stuff off of it. I don't know. Yeah, their attack here might be funny. If I top deck any non-creature, they are just dead unless Necro Dominance bails them out. So it's as close as it possibly can be. I think you just swing, because if I give it unblockable, it doesn't. So if I don't block this, it doesn't die, and it gets to cast a 2-drop. And I'm not sure if there are any relevant 2-drops, and I don't think Monastery Swiftsphere matters. So I think I'm actually going to block, yeah, I think that's fine. It also forces my opponent to yet again spend mana on it, if that matters. I don't think it really does, though. Did you just pay 3? I feel like paying 3 mana there is arguably good. Okay, we didn't get screwed over. We actually drew the spell. Wow. What a crazy game. What a crazy game. But yeah, we survived the Necro Dominance, and then they got stuck under it. I don't see this card too often. I'm sure there are ways, like they have Shieldred, probably Davriel, stuff like that, to offset. It's not perfect to offset it, but you can offset this. It's hard for mono black to get rid of it, though, so you really need the cards you draw with it to be really good. And there's a risk to it, especially if you're taking any kind of chip damage. I think my chip damage approach was better than trying to cast my commander that weren't one turn cycle. So yeah, we just survived all of the things it could do, and we didn't draw land. We got the unblockable. Nice. Real nice. Okay, let's try to get a Blood Moon scam. I haven't done that yet. I will lead on Mountain, because there's a good chance I want to shock something, right? Like a Menadork, and I don't want double Mountain. Okay, that is just not what happened. Let us play this into Malcolm, who is not Oh, this has more text on it. It's not just Wizard. I didn't know that. I'm a dummy. Alright, Blood Moon's looking useless, which doesn't really surprise me. It is a green deck after all, so I'll probably just get rid of Blood Moon. Okay, now I can probably just simply get rid of a land, actually. I think I can afford to just get rid of a land there. I can just cast this. You know, I'm not leaving anything up. Might as well, right? It doesn't really do anything against me. This is a mountain. I was probably going to find a mountain with it anyways, right? This could do something. Very unlikely, but... Of course, right? I have the first Blood Moon in 2 hours, and it's a deck that's just like this. Why not? Okay, I can kill that. I can kill that. Let's go to swingies first. Let's get rid of... I do have a wizard now. I kind of like this. One of these, probably shove aside. I don't even have to kill this, but I probably should. I don't know. Let's cast this and then Mentor's Guidance and see what happens. I still have shock, right, when I do all this, so... Well, that's very satisfying. Yes, please. No creature in my deck graveyard, right? I probably want land drops, especially with Snapcaster. Although I do have Mana Drain. Maybe we don't. Okay, that's a fine draw. Yeah, there's no creature or anything, right? Yeah, I don't have to stop this. It's not doing anything. But maybe casting shock on it is fine anyways. But again, it's not doing anything. I really don't care. They can eat my graveyard. Though I do have Snapcaster. I just don't have to pull the trigger on it. I really don't. I don't have to pull the trigger on it. I can just do that. Yeah, well, they don't have any non-basics, apparently. It's all just basics. Because I started with Blood Moon, all of my opponent's lands turned into basics. The token doesn't have reach, does it? No, just that. I didn't even know this had reach, actually. I did not know that. Okay, so swingies. Ooh, maybe I wanted to hold the land. No, I need more blue in play. I would almost never get rid of this, right? Alright, now it's between these two, and if I get rid of this, this exists forever. I think that's fine. It's kind of weird. It's kind of weird. Maybe I should have just played Curious Obsession like a normal functioning person, huh? Alright, I'm gonna commit to this line. That is alright. I would not counter card draw. It's a little annoying, but Memory Deluge is a strange one to see. It's a little strange. Haha! Enjoy your mountain, you fool. Okay, let me make sure that's not uncounterable. Yep, alright, we're good. Okay, so our opponent handed us 6 mana, which is absolutely disgusting. And we use it to scam them with a lot of dumb stuff, because that's how Mana Drain works. And that's all the mana I can use, right? Yep. Would have liked to use more than that, but... Let's get rid of the mountain. Wait a minute, did I mess up? I think I messed up just now. Yeah, I did. Red, I mistapped. I left myself off of double blue. I did, didn't I? Yeah, I did. That's the 4th time. That is the 4th time I have done that. I left myself off of a color that I really shouldn't have done. Okay, that is not my opponent's commander has reach, and they just didn't. What? Blow up the Curious Obsession. What? Just blow up the Curious Obsession. What was... Blood Moon did something. It actually did something. We will take that. Blood Moon literally did something. I don't know why. I don't know why. But it did. opponent was like, I'm not going to blow up the Curious Obsession. My opponent wanted that tapped Prismatic Vista. Actually gave me a second red source, too. Well, I mean, I should say actually a fourth blue source. Not looking like I need more red, huh? And we can cast more. I'm going to crack this first. They have like a double spell. I don't know. I guess, yeah, I'm just not going to take another red source then. Okay. But yeah, they just gave me they literally gave me a second blue source. A fourth blue source. I can't count. I'm tired. You'll have to excuse me. Memory lapse on the... Wait a minute. That doesn't matter. That doesn't stop any of what I'm doing. I could have cast a counterspell on it, but I can see that is getting me into trouble. But I'm already swinging for lethal. There's no incentive for me to do anything else, right? Yep. Interesting game. Blood Moon didn't do... No, wait, no! It did do something. They Rexaged it for no reason. They could have Rexaged the Curious Obsession. Okay, so it is drastically, or at least somewhat drastically different than when it started, and that was definitely for the better. My mindset was in a place that was non-existent. The mono one-drop thing is not really a thing in this format, really, at least how I was building it. I just did not, it didn't seem like it's a thing. Maybe mono red could do that, and if it was all like burn spells or something, I don't know, but I don't know what I was thinking. That just did not work. The prowess one drop nonsense into like this way later wasn't a thing. And so this costs 4 mana. It probably should cost 3. That alone is just makes this miserable. And if it's going to cost 4, it needs more text, like make it a 4/4 or a 2/5. So it doesn't die to all the red spells for 1 mana. There are an endless amount of hyper-efficient answers for your 4 mana tap out at sorcery speed commander that then does literally nothing until the next turn unless you left up mana, which means now it costs more than 4 and required a spell to be relevant to cast it with 5 mana up in the first place. So this should not cost 4, or it needed flash. It needs flash. It needs something. It's because it's the way it is right now, unless they change it because of magical Hearthstone alchemy changey cards on Magic Arena. This is borderline unplayable. There are better blue-red prowess style things that you can put into the command zone. It is kind of cool to give all your creatures prowess. And yeah, I can run more creatures. I ended up having to take some out. I could have run more. I could have run a token strategy like Goblin Rabble Master, Goblin Mentor, or whatever the other one is. You gotta get ready for bed. Thanks for stream. Yeah, it's nice catching you. Thanks for watching. Sorry about that. But yeah, so there's things I could have done that were like more in on the your creatures have prowess. But that wasn't really the issue. Every time I had this in play, I didn't necessarily feel like I was missing enough creatures already. Like, if all my stuff is dead and I cast this, I'm probably not winning anyways, right? So I don't really know if I needed more creatures. Every time it was in play, I felt like I had enough creatures to be very scary. And it really only takes one, maybe 2. But like 1 additional creature on top of this, you're already pushing quite a bit of damage. Every spell you cast comes with 2 damage, essentially, right? And this is unblockable, and then if you cast 2 spells, both the things are unblockable, but for the most part, all the other creatures are somewhat evasive anyways. Shoot, I would have put this in the command zone. I would have put this in the... Shoot, I would have put Blood Moon in the command zone if I could have instead of this. The Flood Moon and Blood Moon were just in here because I felt like I was losing. I was losing so much that I needed to just have random scam wins outside of just Ragavan and Mana Drain. I felt like I needed more. But there are a a boatload of decks in the game that don't really care about these two cards, but there are some that do. So you need to bump into a deck that does care about these, and then you need to draw them, and it also needs to be relevant, right? Just because the 5-color deck got hit by Blood Moon doesn't mean it can't just play generic Mana Rock into Cultivate, and suddenly this doesn't do anything. So I don't know how I feel about these. I gotta really pay more attention to my opponent's mana bases when I assess this. Like, I'm never really thinking about it. But I just don't think these are a thing, really. And they also don't stop Mana Dorks, because Mana Dorks exist before this gets to exist. So anything that... Green in general doesn't care, so I shouldn't even say Mana Dorks, because if you're playing against a green deck, these don't matter anyways, 99% of the time. Green is the most played color. Green is, in my opinion, the strongest color, so... this has that against it as well. So I don't really like Blood Moon that much. It's kind of funny I say that, because the 2 times I saw Blood Moon from my opponent, it actually won them the game. Like, they played it, and then I'm sitting there like, wow, it actually really did a number on me. And I'm looking at my mana base. But every time I've cast it, except I think a single game in the history of playing this card, has it, like, it hasn't actually done anything. So... they were just in here because I was, the misery was filling the mind, and I'm like, all right, let me just try to steal wins in some way, because this isn't working. But this was probably the wrong choice, right? At that point, I probably should have just ran 3 mana counter spells, even though I don't think this could function with that. So the reason there's no mana rocks in here on turn 2 is because I feel like my turn 2 must always be interaction in the form of a counter spell, or something proactive, like a creature, or something, like a card draw spell maybe, or something like that, right? One of these, or literally more of these, is just a better thing to do than cast a Mana Rock, so I then can cast this the next turn. But then I did not cast more creatures before I cast this, because I spent turn 2 casting a Mana Rock, and I spent turn 3 casting this. So... I only have a 1-drop in play, if anything. And then I start casting creatures before I get prowess triggers, so I have things to actually give prowess to. So, 1-drop, Mana Rock, this. Try to hold on to prowess triggers so I actually get something out of them, other than just 2 creatures, my 1-drop in this, assuming they're alive. And then cast creatures, and then cast the prowess spells. So, kind of weird. That's why I didn't like mana rocks, right? The sequence is ugly. This costing 4 is ugly. It is miserable, and it blows my mind that it actually costs 4. It really does. Blue-red is, like, already trying to do that tempo-y thing. Or if you're trying to do the tempo-y thing. This is just what I thought made the most sense. There's some cards that are... it was Tempest Jim and Haughty Jin, or whatever the other one is, maybe, or something there, but, like, my 3 slot is awkward. It's so awkward to tap out for something on turn 3. It really is. Maybe you just concede to the idea of doing that, and, excuse me, you just send them anyways, right? Take out some of these jank 1s and maybe some of these 2s. And just start running a random... There are good 3-minute cards in the game, right? What is it? Kiki, Jiki, Mirror Breaker thing? Fable the Mirror Breaker. I mean, I could list 15 good 3-minute cards in blue and red. Cancel. Cancel your opponent. You can just run counter spells and stuff. So there's stuff you could do on 3. But again, it just felt like that was not what I was meant to be doing. But I would say when I started to increase the mana curve of the deck, it did get better. Right, it did get better. I did have to compensate with adding more lands. I ended at 34 with Gerari Disruption at 35 technically. So actually the latter half of my games, I didn't actually get mana screwed. So I guess I found the happy point, right? Especially with stuff like Winged Words and anything that draws a card, draws 2 cards. You're going to kind of bump into your lands at a reasonable pace. There wasn't a single Brainstorm. I don't think I cast Brainstorm a single time. If I did, I don't remember. I thought that was kind of funny. Just didn't cast this. Brainstorm is basically a land because it draws 3. So if you need a land, it's 90% of the time going to hit a land, right? Even if you're at 30 lands, you have a 1 in 3 or slightly under. Yeah, okay, it's slightly under a 1 in 3. It is at 30 lands. So no, yeah, 33 lands would be your happy 1 in 3 Brainstorm cards are a land. So actually, yeah, when I started, this had below average land hit. Shoot, yeah. But my deck was all 1-drops at the time. It's cool to play Chart a Course and always draw 2 off it because I have so many random things to like poke my opponent with. That's kind of neat. The random splashing of like creature types matter is kind of cool, like Wizard's Retort, Winged Words. I know flying's not tribal, but you know, it depends who you ask. Some people think it does, right? So flying matters, discount here. I did like all those goofy cards, right, that felt fine. That was kind of nice. This was in here because it usually always costs 2, and if it doesn't, well, you have a spell in hand, so you're not upset that it costs 4. You're not ready to cast it anyways, I guess. That's fine. But yeah, the Blood Moon and the Seas can come out for something else. But everything else was good enough. The Goldhound was kind of nice. It's weird that this has Menace. I don't know why it has Menace, but like this is actually just a solid card. Shoot, this might be just good in Pauper too, now that I'm thinking about it. I really do like this card. It's kind of funny. Everything about this card is solid, right? Like the first strike, the Menace, the fact that it taps for mana and, you know, sacks itself for mana is nice, right? So I really do like this card. It's doing everything I'm trying to do, include beat my opponent to death. Strike it rich. I don't know. It felt weird in this hand, or deck. It felt a little weird, but I didn't get to play with it that much, so I don't know what that means anyways. I just didn't get to cast it that many times. It seems like it's a perfect card. It does have flashback too, so it's 2 prowess triggers. I mean, you can use the treasure to cast the flashback side in the same turn just to get prowess. I think this is totally fine. And the treasure's that early in a non-green setting, right? The mana that early is always solid. The 1-mana ramp spells are basically the strongest thing you can do, even if it's a temporary one. I really think the card just as is in a vacuum is just really good. So yeah, all in all though, I can't recommend this commander. It's pretty miserable to play. It doesn't really get to survive consistently. And when it does, you also needed some kind of functioning setup to justify casting it in the first place, right? The best times I had with it was when I could mana drain it out really fast. But mana drain just wins anyways. Excuse me. And mana drain just doesn't need help winning the game. So I don't know, but that's all I've got for this commander. Let me know what you thought about it. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.